Hello everybody, we are the Geeks and Degenerates. I am Anto and this is my co-host who's had 3 hours of sleep. Yay! But yeah, since The Karate Kid is coming out this year, we might as well talk about some inspirational sports movies. The new one with Ralph Macchio and what's his name? Jackie Chan. I don't know why I blanked.
What?
Yeah. Don't know if
okay.
Jaden Smith's in it.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, we can't talk about inspirational sports movies without the king of it, I guess, for the past generations and this generation, probably, which is Rocky, the original Rocky, starring Sylvester Stallone, and I'll be honest, there's not a lot that hasn't been said about the Rocky movie that's not been said on YouTube, so we'll just do our usual take on it. But yeah, since you are a boxer, former boxer, I don't know if you're still active, how did you find this movie?
Oh, getting from the start, like him having that whole underground boxing thing, getting paid peanuts and stuff. I'm like, yeah, of course I wasn't in that life. I trained to box, but I wasn't. I didn't like compete to like survive kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like majority of the boxers do. But going through it, I have seen boxers like Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
And I would say majority of the time, like the way he performs, I'm like, yeah, I feel like his boxing is effective. And at some points, I'm like, I think he's really hitting the person.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I was like, wait a minute. He's kind of throwing real swings. Some are like, oh, like okay, yeah. Some of them like don't really connect.
Yeah.
Like the person will go down, but it still translates. That's fine. But there are points where I'm just like, I see him do a gut punch. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Movie. There's a movie, Sylvester.
Right? Don't have to go so hard.
Yeah.
I think I just grew up with stories about how this movie inspired a lot of Pinoys to drink Sarsi and Coke. Sarsi and eggs. I'm like, what? That's kind of disgusting.
Yeah.
But you know what? Maybe if I'm desperate enough, I'll try it. I don't know.
No, please
No?
don't. Like, I get it that like Sylvester Stallone kind of did the whole raw egg thing. Just so your chances of catching salmonella is like very low. Don't.
That is true. But yeah, to be honest, I watched this movie right after I watched Creed for the first time because I'm like, I feel like a cheater. I have to go back. And I watched it. I watched most of the Rockies. I think I stopped at Rocky 4. Never watched 5 yet because I hear it's the bad one, the worstest one. But yeah, I do like the story, that Rocky's story is kind of like Sylvester Stallone's, where he's an underdog of life. Like, I know studios were pitching to give him so much money and he wouldn't say yes until he found the right studio, even though he just had $5 in his bank account at the time. I'm like, damn, you're playing with fate if you're just like, I won't give up my script until you pay me the exact amount. And I'm like, don't know what I have to deal with, but I have $5 in my bank account, which is, I'm not sure how many pesos right now.
Well, $5 now it's like around 200 pesos.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, you know what, you can have my script.
But not gonna lie, like him, seeing him, kind of like go through this. I would say it's the right choice. Like it's clearly his movie. It's a household name.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone is a household name. Rocky's a household name, and like the amount of dedication that he kind of put into this, and even like I don't know if Sylvester like learned how to box before, like, or was a boxer before this, but he clearly learned how to box before, like filming this, because it looked it looked natural. Even like the actor for Apollo Creed,
Carl Weathers.
Yeah, they looked great. They looked fucking amazing. Like this is probably the only few movies around this time that had choreography that looked so real.
Yeah. Except for like the fact that Rocky doesn't block a lot. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
A lot of extra damage.
He kind of like puts his arms down a little bit, a little too much. It is a thing, but it's not advised. But yeah, he gets hit in the head a little too much. And I'm like, man, that's a simple fix. Simple fix.
Yeah. Like, I do love the structure where it's not just a guy who is up and coming and like is ready to take on the world. This guy has been in the world and is like, once my
Down
shot,
on his luck.
yeah, like
Yeah.
when am I ever going to get my shot? It's not like he's young and he's spry and he's like, all right, time to make a name for myself. Here he's just like, I don't think I can ever make a name for myself. I think I'll just be here in this corner until my luck just juts upwards by a stroke of luck.
But yeah, again with a stroke of luck. But it's just, yeah. Apollo Creed is a well-renowned boxer in this universe, and he just happens to like his opponent happens to just forfeit
Yeah.
or just not show up, and again the guy substitute just also didn't show up, and they're like, "Yep, there's this kid called Rocky."
Yeah. Let's give him a shot at the world title, and of course Rocky can't say no. He's like,
Yeah,
when will I ever get this chance? Like, he also doesn't have he has a quiet, simple life too. Like, he tries to get with Paulie's sister, who's played by Talia
Yeah.
Shire, Adrian. At some points, you're like, oh, Rocky's sweet. Like, oh, of course, there are some points where I'm like, I get it's the 70s, but Rocky's kind of being weird, you know?
yeah,
Like, how he invites her to his apartment. I'm like, Rocky, what the fuck are you doing?
yeah. He's a little too like pushy when it comes to shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like but yeah, like of course Rocky isn't really all that good because he pulls an Arthur Morgan where he's just like, hey, I work for this loan shark, I beat the shit out of you if you don't pay, you know.
Yeah. And like, he just trains the way he trains, and even Mickey's like, you could be great, but you're just wasting time with these underground fights. And to Rocky's point, it is kind of like, where were you this entire time when Mickey's finally like, hey, I heard you have a shot at the title. Want me to train you? And you're like, oh, now? Seriously?
Oh, now you show up, the fact that I'm fighting somebody big, yeah, not gonna lie, Mickey here, I'm like, nah, you suck. 'Cause he's like, well, I forgot what he calls him, but he insults him every time he sees him.
Yeah. He's like, you fucking lazy asshole. Get the fuck out of my gym. What do you mean you have no locker? You don't deserve a locker. Get the fuck out. And you're like, okay,
Yeah.
fuck you. And that's why Rocky's like, oh, you never came to my place before. Now, why? You don't like my place? It fucking stinks? You fucking stink. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Huh?
And like, of course, he just makes do with what he got. He has Paulie like bringing in like fresh meat for him to punch.
Yeah.
Like, man's doing his own workouts like his own way.
Feel bad for his sister because Polly's also a dick to poor Adrian. I'm like, why do you have to be like that to your own sister, man? Just be nice.
Dude, this was the weirdest. Okay, sorry, not gonna lie. Like, I could tell, like, it had a little bit of a draggy feel.
Yeah.
This movie drags a lot. Like, if you again, same movie, same situation with YOLO, but in my opinion, YOLO kind of paces itself a little bit better. Since this is a bit older,
Yeah.
pacing drags a lot. So there are moments where it's just like, he's going on a date. That's very nice. Oh, he's with a girl. They're kissing, and it's very nice. I'm like, okay, cool. Can we get to the boxing part? I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, he's having Thanksgiving with a girl. That's not nice because the brother's a little bit weird and mean and throws the turkey that I'm pretty sure everybody wanted to eat.
Right? I'm like, man, I want to have some of that turkey.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's been said before, Rocky is not all about the boxing. Same with YOLO, same with Creed. It's just how, you get that one shot in life and you're like, I gotta take it. Like,
I know, but it's just that it just drags a little too much.
yeah. Yeah.
Like how, how like Sylvester Stallone just like walks around like, yeah, everybody knows Rocky,
Yeah.
He's like the guy that everybody looks up to in Philly, and you see him like playing with a dog in a cage, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah. Speaking of boxing stuff, I forget how big Carl Weathers got for this role. It's like, seeing him here, I'm like, oh, fuck. Jesus Christ.
Dude, that, not gonna lie, after I saw that, I was like, Man, how long would it take for me to get to that kind of shape?
Years.
1,000 years,
Yeah.
maybe.
Like unless you have the commitment and the resources that the director of YOLO have, it will probably take years just to like get into Michael B. Jordan's shape, let alone
I think I need the genetics as well. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Just shows how much commitment Carl Weathers had to the role, and it's such a shame we lost him last year. Like last year was pretty brutal with his that James Earl Jones and Tony Todd. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Why?
Yeah.
But yeah, it shows how much commitment we have, and like just looking at the outcome, I'm like, damn, that's quite impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the amount of effect that Carl Weather had, but like even with like Predator, like see those biceps? Man, I want to have biceps like that. I want it to encompass like somebody's head.
Yeah,
You know?
like how Chris Hemsworth is in such shape. You're like, damn, wish I could be like that, you know? But
No, not gonna. I would love to be Carl Weathers' body more than Chris Hemsworth's.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that right before the match is when Rocky's just like, what the fuck am I doing? I don't think I can do this. He's the world heavyweight champion for a reason. Shit. I don't know what to do, and it's Adrian that has to be like, no, you got this. I believe in you. You're here already. Like, please, just realize what you have and like just take this opportunity. And he does. Like, he does give it to the champ. Like, at one point, he knocks him down, and Apollo's just like, what the fuck? I thought you were an amateur. Fuck.
Yeah.
But there's always that moment in the Rocky movie where they're like, oh, his bite is as big as his bark. Okay, I have to step up then.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do like that because his training like did pay off. Again, as you mentioned with like Adrian, where there was a lot of character development with Adrian because like at the start she's a very shy, neat girl, and then like as we go throughout the movie, he starts to like be a bit louder. But of course, we didn't really stay on that situation all that much. But it was still kind of nice because that's the support that the character of Rocky needed. And I'm like, all right. But yeah, like going back to the fight, yeah, a lot of times you could tell that like, yeah, he's kind of punching a little too high off his like, you know, weight, or how do you say it?
Punching above his weight.
I think so. I think so. Yeah, I think I fucked that up. But anyway, yeah, he's doing that, but he kind of just like sucks it up and it's like, you know what, I'm already here.
Yeah,
And he does land a good few shots. I'm just like, to a point where I'm just like, yo, the fact that he's going up against a world champion, I'm like, that's really good. And I know it's a movie. I know it's like clearly scripted, but at the same time, the choreography is there to a point where I'm like, I remember there was an interview with Sylvester Stallone where they, like, him and Carl Weathers, I think, legit started punching each other for real.
yeah, it looks like that. I think I read something like that too.
Yeah, correct us if we're wrong, but I remember there was a video somewhere where Sylvester Stallone was just like having a like both him and Carl Weathers are very competitive.
Yeah.
To a point where they're like they started hitting each other a little bit too real to a point, and then they were like, keep filming.
Commitment. I love the fact that like YOLO is not a fairy tale ending. Like obviously, fortunately, Apollo Creed is just that much more skillful as a boxer, and the points do go to him. But it is close where you're like, you kind of want to call bullshit, but at the same time you're like, it wouldn't make sense for him to win right now.
Yeah, like I feel like it's not there yet, but he has earned something. And he clearly has earned like Apollo's respect and the attention of the audience. Yeah, Rocky loses at the end of this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're just kind of like, I feel like he gained more than he lost. You know.
Yeah, definitely, and that's why it's such people look up to this movie as something so inspirational, and I can see why, even though the pacing is a bit off. You're right. It's times of like, oh, he's going to the pet store, and I was taking Adrian to the ice skating ring. They're just chatting about stuff. I don't even know what he's talking about. Sure.
Yeah. And he's a guy. He doesn't put on skates, so he walks a nice and awkward way. I'm like, okay, but I do have to admit, I love Rocky. I love this movie. I love the choreography. I love the actors. But holy shit, I have to admit, I did fall asleep once we were like going through the whole Adrian thing, the whole Polly thing. I'm just like, okay, I had to rewind because I'm like, shit, I fell asleep maybe for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's that part that people forget sometimes, I guess, when they're talking about Rocky. They're just like, the boxing is great, and then when you watch this movie, you're like, there's not much boxing, now is there?
Yeah, because me and my friends used to box, like a lot, and then we were like, hey, let's put up a lot of like softball, Creed, and like let's put on Rocky because we're like, let's get classic with it.
Yeah.
We put on Rocky, and we're so pumped to just be inspired to box. We watched it, we all kind of just got a little bit bored.
Yeah.
Because yes, it does drag on. It really does.
Yeah, so the caveat of like people just talk about the training montage, the boxing, never about the slow parts. It's like telling people like The Godfather is so action packed. Like Vito Corleone just dives in like the Matrix, with the Tommy gun in hand, and you're like, really? And then you watch The Godfather, you're like, what the fuck? What do you mean?
Not gonna lie, that would've been so cool.
Yeah. Like he just comes in dual wielding and kills every mafia boss, and like, I think you're lying to me, but at the same time, I'll check it out. Like, get back to you a week later, you're like, you did lie to me, you son of a bitch.
Anyway, let's go.
Yeah. What would you rate the original Rocky?
I would rate the original Rocky an 8 point, an 8.5 out of 10. It's still a good movie. That's still a good score, by the way. And it had such big influence on like maybe like the underdog story, inspirational story, whether it be any other sport. And like I have to say, this is probably one of the best choreographies I've seen when it comes to like boxing movies or boxing, like anything in this kind of media. And like, yeah, say what you will, the pacing's okay. I have to say it's a little awful. There's some points where I'm just like, oh, I'm falling asleep, and there's no music or anything at all to keep me like interested because it is the 70s. But the story is good,
Yeah.
The way that like he just got outcasted and it just had to build up on his own, had to get up on his own. You see him like going up the famous stairs and just like not making it at the start, but now by the end of it he gets to his goal. And I'm like, I don't know. After watching this, I'm like, I kind of want to start going boxing again, but busy.
That's
But
fair.
other than that, it's so good. I love the ending. The ending is in my opinion like, yes, he shouldn't win, but at the same time he won in different ways.
Yeah.
It's a 8.5 out of 10 for me. The pacing, sorry, really just had me.
That's fair enough. I'll give it an 8 as well. The acting is great and the action is great. Like Sylvester Stallone really shows his acting capabilities. Like especially with that scene with Mickey when he's like, "Where were you all this time? Where only now? You fucking serious? You're just using me now? Fuck you! I don't need you." And like the score is great, the montage is great. It's just the slow bits where you're like, I could have sworn people just talked about the boxing in this movie. Maybe people are just gaslighting me. Maybe I'm gaslighting me. But it still holds up to this day, and it shows why Sylvester Stallone became a megastar with like this. What else? Rambo, all those action movies, to like King Shark. And shows why he's still active today. And like, I'm glad he still does movies today, even though some do look crappy. I'm like, you know what? Some I will watch on streaming. Others I will go out to the theater to watch. Yeah. And like, if you find this inspirational and want to box because of this, why not? Same with Creed. Same with YOLO. Sure, go nuts.
Give it a shot. It's healthy. It's good. Just careful with your hands. Don't break them.
Yeah, it's expensive in this economy to break hands.
Yeah, dude. Like my knuckles are kind of fucked from like boxing. Like, it's not correct. Like this one's not correct. That's just me fucking up a
Oh.
lot. So, careful, kids, when you start boxing.
Yeah. Aside from that public service announcement about not fucking up your hands, what's your favorite boxing movie? To the audience watching, is it this? Is it Creed? Is it Cinderella Man? Is what else am I missing? Southpaw. If you like being sad, I guess.
Or $1 Million Baby, if you like being sad.
Extra sad. What else? I'm missing a lot. I know I am, but anyway.
Or if you're into anime, Hajime no Ippo.
Yes.
It is the best boxing form of media I've ever seen, and that was the thing that kept me going for 2 years. Yeah.
But yeah, that's been our video on the original Rocky. If you like what you see here, please leave a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok. TikTok to see our best and funniest moments, Spotify to hear us on the go. In the video, I'm Zoda's voices on TikTok and Answolf on Letterboxd. Where can they find you?
Find me at JomJuM_ on Instagram. It is my account.
And until the next one, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.